So we have to find a way of reaching out to them and getting them to be on board and understand that they need to stand with the people and they need always to be on the side of the people, not on the side of the persecutors. And then the other side of the education has to go to the people, the recipients. Let's go out there, let's educate the people, let's tell them that what you are seeing right now, if you see your chief receiving a car, if you see the army officers running around with the state-of-the-art vehicles being given, having been given by the government, it's not that Emerson Mnangagwa loves them. It's not that the government loves them. They are getting those vehicles, they are getting those handouts so that they come and influence you and coerce you to vote for ZANU-PF. Whether they're going to do it violently or they're just going to come and talk to you, they're going to use every means possible. The chiefs are going to line you up and tell you to tell the person who is in the booth that you can't write when you can write, that you are illiterate when you are, literate. Let's tell them that this is the point. This is what they're trying to do to you. We need to educate the masses. We need to tell the people that these people are just being used to come to you and use you too. So there has to be, that amount of education, and it comes from all of us. This voter education is supposed to be done by ZEC, it's supposed to be done by the government, and even ZEC, by its own admission, if you go on their website, they are supposed to be doing voter education. They receive a budget, they have a budget for voter education, but they never do voter education. When last did you see an advert by ZEC telling people to go and register to vote, or just educating them about their rights to vote, the importance of voting? They don't do that because obviously they know that it's counterproductive to them. So it becomes our responsibility. It becomes your responsibility to teach the people, to give information to the people. We have to do our own voter education, just like we are doing now, that we are encouraging our own people to go and register to vote. And those here in the diaspora, we are saying, 1+5, you are one. Talk to 5 people today in your rural area. Talk to 5 people in your homestead, in your family, so that they go and register to vote. That's exactly what we also need to do about what ZANU-PF is doing, the strategies that they have, the propaganda that they have, everything that they're throwing at us, including giving trinkets to security forces. We need to counter that. We need to be speaking about it at every platform, whether it's on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. But of course, for us to be effective, for us to be able to educate people well, we need to have the information. And that's why it's critical to have these discussions. And that's why we should be thankful that we have people like great communicators like Advocate Mahere, Champion Ostalos, people that are giving us information every day. And I always tell people, even here in North America, that let's follow Advocate Mahere, let's follow Champion Ostalos, let's follow our president. But especially those two, they will always be talking on behalf of the party. So when you follow them, when you read what they are saying, when you read their tweets, you're getting, the party position. You understand what the party wants you to say when you're arguing on Twitter Spaces, when you're, fighting with people on WhatsApp. I know that goes on a lot. I used to do that, fighting on social media, fighting with people, talking to people, trying to educate the people, trying to convince people. For you to be, an effective communicator, or for you to effectively be able to do that, follow our party leaders so that you get the correct information. Even myself, where I am right now, I'm always on platforms. I'm always on Facebook. I go to VOA, get called to VOA 2-3 times a week. I do not just go there. I make sure that sometimes I even make a phone call. to any of the leaders, what are we saying on this issue? Or I'm always checking what Champion Mahere is doing. He's posting Champion Agostalos, and then even when I go to VOA or on Facebook, I'm speaking alongside what the party is saying. So it's important, folks, to get information, because the war that we are fighting right now is a war of information, not only here in the diaspora, not only here on social media. The whole struggle is based on how we are giving information, and we're doing that very well through those leaders that I've spoken about. It's based on how we are managing the information that we have, and it's also based on how we are countering the information that we are getting from ZANU-PF, the propaganda that is being propagated by the likes of Mangwana and all the ZANU-PF people that are all over. They are here, even here when we're speaking. They are there on Twitter Spaces, on Facebook. They are there. We can't argue about that. Emerson Mnangagwa said it himself. And I know about social media. And they're being paid. You guys, you are here. Nobody's paying you. You just are here for the good of the country. But there are people that are paid out there to counter what we are doing, to give wrong information, to give propaganda to people. So we need to find a way of, countering that propaganda. And you can only do that by giving the correct information to the people, educating the people, making sure that people know that this is wrong, this is right. I think if you're seeing the video that is going on of that young man who was in Buhera, who was telling the people, that you should not be tricked by a cup of, or 2 cups of matemba, or 2 cups of beans. That's the kind of information that we want to see trickling down Kumaruzeva. And I'm so excited because it's happening Kumamisha Ikoku, but we also need to do it even at our level, because you'll be shocked that even here, there are people that don't understand what is going on in Zimbabwe. There are people that are here that don't understand, what exactly is the reason why Zimbabwe is on its knees. They swallow ZANU-PF propaganda, hook, line, and sinker. They even think that there's something called sanctions. They believe that. I'm saying that, from a point of information and correct information. I have my son here. He's an engineer. He has 2 degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. But at one time, he comes to me and say, munofira chi munongomuka makuseni muri space muri meeting muri pai muri kufira chi muchangobirwa. And that's coming from mwana wa chief. And I'll be like, seriously? But you think that my son, who sees me waking up in the morning and sleeping late, will understand. And I'm talking every time, and once in a while I find time to talk to them. But at one time or another, you hear him saying something like that. And then I'll be saying, so what about all the others? What about those that have parents that don't even talk about what is going on in Zimbabwe? There is a lot of deficiency of information. A lot of people in the diaspora do not know what's going on in Zimbabwe and what's causing Zimbabweans to suffer. And we need to keep giving people information. We need to find a way of making sure that our people are educated, home and away. And that's why, again, as I finish, I will continue to thank those that are doing spaces, those that are on Facebook, those that are on Instagram, and our foot soldiers, of course, that are doing a lot of work on the ground. There is a lot that is going on. Do not be deceived by what you see, by what you hear from ZANU-PF, that they still have control, and they have control of the rural areas. They don't. And there has been a lot of penetration in the rural areas. Triple C is there, it's everywhere. I know some people will tell you, nandiri kwa Mrewa, nandiri kupi, hakuna. There is a lot of work being done. All the former national executive members are in the rural areas. They are camped in the rural areas. They are doing a lot of work. And we should marvel and we should be thankful of the sacrifice that they are making. They are there using their own cars. Look at those roads, but someone is using his own car. They are there using their own fuel because our parties, we don't have money, we don't have resources. People are sacrificing their own resources to do all those, all that work that you see on social media. The president was in Manicaland, today he was in Masvingo. People that are driving with him, people that are there, they're doing it using their own resources. Even the people that are coming, that are gathering, nobody is being given a cent to attend those rallies. They are using their own resources. I know we do a lot. We support the Women Task Force. Thank you, those that are doing that. We support the Youth Task Force. But that budget, the budget that we are satisfying, is only a quarter of what is needed to run a proper election campaign. Where we are using $6,000, ZANU-PF for the same things will be using $6 million. That's the disproportionate. That's that's exactly what is happening. So it just speaks to the levels of sacrifices that are going on. So let's keep doing what we are doing. Let's keep supporting the movement. Let's keep supporting the youth, the women, the fundraisers that are going on. Let's support all of them. I'm telling you, all these small things or seemingly small things that we see that we are doing, even these spaces, they're all going to come together, and we're all going to, be saying, "Oh, those," and because everything would have come together, and we'll be in a new great Zimbabwe. Thank you, Mkoma Jenford. Thank you, Dr. Amai. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Mambo Sose, for your great submission. And like you said, giving out information to people is important. Some here in the diaspora are not even aware about these incentives, and we're still some who are in Zimbabwe. So let's disseminate the information so that people understand the bribes that are happening. And I'm glad you mentioned that MPs received $40,000, including our own. So a lot of people are just being bribed in general. Let's send out that information, starting from our own families. And I've laughed about my own son with Chief Sose. Moms, matanga dzenyu kana Mambo Sose manje muswere wese munongoita meetings chipati chenyu ichi. So let's conscientize our own children, our own family members, and if everybody has the correct information, then we'll be fine. Before Tsepos asks his question or gives his contribution, I'll gladly give back this time to the host. Over to you, host.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maifa, and as well to Mambo Sose. It's something that a lot of us here would want to do. To say it has to start from within the family. Kana mwana wenyu womukomana kana mwana wenyu musikana wamunoti mimi ndiye anofana kuva anoona zvandinoita agonotaridzawo vamwe kunzoko achikubvunzai mibvunzo iyoyo, meaning to say we have got so much that we need to do in order for the rest of the society to really change their mindsets, because that is the reason why we have a situation where the youngsters are actually saying they won't be able to go and do a registration that is currently taking place because you will see a number of people on the ground. Some of them would not even want to bother going to do the registration that is taking place unless and until if somebody is incentivized. But you see, this is an extra mile that we are actually doing to say, for you to go and register, we are going to be giving you this giving you this. Citizens should really have it within themselves to say what is happening in Zimbabwe. It's something that is not supposed to remain until forever. We are not doing it for ourselves. We are not doing it for maybe the young children. Maybe we are actually doing for the people who are yet to be born. Why? Because the rest of us are almost spent forces because of the regime. So thank you very much, Mambosoze. And it's very imperative that everybody of us should really know that it's achievable, it's doable. We can do away with this regime that has caused our lives. But before I go to Tsepo again, I just wanted to acknowledge the presence of one of our champions who has not been with us for quite a long period of time. If you do not mind, you can just ask for the mic. I can give you Mkoma Wenaru. It has been very long. Maybe Mangamiti Bopina Mnima space, but this is my first time to see you now. You can request for a mic just to give us what you think about what is happening, and we are so happy. I'm personally happy to see you back and continue with the struggle. But thank you very much. Tsepo, go ahead with your question and the rest of your submission.
All right, thank you. Mine was more of a comment. I am in agreement with the previous speaker, Mambo Sosa. Yes, he shared some powerful nuggets. And the divide and conquer rule will not work, and we must not allow it to work. So even as we share our submissions, it must not seem like members of the security sector are at fault because they received an increase in salaries. So I remember that earlier on, Ben thought you were talking about a scenario where teachers tend to look down on members of the security sector to say, after all, you are not professionals, you came through the back door, or you had an easy way out. All that should not be embraced, nor should it be tolerated, nor should it be advanced, because you'll be falling right into the trap of the enemy. So there's need to continue to draw members of the security force closer, continue to engage with them, continue to reason with them, continue to find out from them what they are thinking, what the narrative is, how are they seeing things, for how long will they continue to be used, used like for a lack of a better word, condom. You use it, when you finish using it, you throw it away. Use a bandage to cover your wound. Once your wound is healed, you throw it away. They deserve better. If you tell somebody that it deserves better than what you are getting, they'll continue to yearn for more. They'll begin to value themselves. Because it's a matter of valuing yourself first without waiting to be valued by somebody else. So that's what I thought to say. The approach should be an approach where there is engagement, not an approach where you are at loggerheads, or you start blaming them, or you start telling them that you are openly used. That will not work. It will bring about a, a stronger feeling of resistance from the security sector. So engage them, talk to them, find out if they are seeing the bigger picture. If they are not, because some can be easily lured, some can be easily swayed away. Speak to them in a civil and cordial manner. For the traditional leaders, speak to communities. Communities have the power to decide the demands of their traditional leaders. Tell them that if they frog march you to a polling station, don't resist. At on your inside that to know what to do and do the right thing, not only for yourself, but even for future generations. Use basic and practicable examples. Don't go very far when you are engaging the community. Make them look at the traditional leader's homestead. It is solar panels, it is well built, there's this and that. Then make them relate to their real life scenario. Make them relate to the life that they are subjected to each and every day. When you're able to do that, they will never betray from their cause. So don't spend too much time focusing on the fact that they have received cars. Let them receive as many cars. But let's not be relentless. Let's not let down. Let's make people realize the truth and see things for what they are. Thank you.
But sorry, Tsepo, I think I need to come back to you and say, and I'm going to delve my comment on what you previously said when you highlighted that this thing of the rewarding of these security forces and the chiefs, it didn't start now as we are approaching the 2023 election. It has been happening on the eve of every election that was taken. It also didn't start with the ED. It started with Mugabe himself. And when we got this historical information with us and say, until when exactly is it going to be the turning point when you will be engaging? Remember, even the late Morgan Changai was not as confrontational to the security forces, even to the chiefs. He was so respectful to them, in getting them the way that he did. And remember also that in as much as the junior officers, when they are asked to go, government ivo vanokutaura mhinduro yekuti we have got no powers, we are only instructed to do this. And now these instructors are the ones that we have just been informed that vakawana maconcessions ekuti lithium yakanzi haikwanisi kuva inotengeswa as ore ndiwo vakudiwa kutengesa vachivarega. So they've got so much to defend. That is why they would instruct their subordinates to do these things. So my question to you is, what exactly should the opposition and the activists do that convince them is opposed to what they are going to be getting from the government, because they are getting so much from the government?
What they should do is intensify engagement efforts with the communities. I know that it's not easy to penetrate into the rural and into rural areas, but whenever there is chance to do so, let there be face-to-face engagement. But let's utilize social media, in particular WhatsApp. Twitter is more elitist, if I may put it that way. But WhatsApp is not elitist. In 2017, about 5.2 million. If you Google and search for statistics, you'll find them. 5.2 million were on WhatsApp. Can you imagine how many people are on WhatsApp now? Yes, network is a challenge, but once a message has been sent, it's sent. It doesn't matter when the recipient is going to receive it. But whenever there is access to network, they are going to receive it. Engage them. Speak to them. There is need to learn the art of public speaking. The art of speaking into the hearts of the masses. When you use that, people are not daft. That's what I continue to say. They are not daft. they'll receive the message, engage with them, talk to them, use whichever opportunity is there to talk to them. I had gone earlier on to monitor the voter registration process this afternoon in my neighborhood. And it's easy to capture information using your mobile phone systematically and strategically. Just do your thing steadily. Know what you want to achieve. So it's you even having conversations with the people there, go in a systematic way and manner to speak to them, just to find out how they're viewing the environment. There is no need really to influence people on the decision they should make. The situation on its own is influential enough. What is needed is just a small push. Don't tell them what to do, but reason with them and leave them with more questions than answers. And those answers, they are going to answer the questions on their own, facing the reality, seeing things as they are. So the other problem that has been talked about is that at times I feel we overly magnify issues. Where there are problems, let's see a solution. That's why you realize that from the onset of this space, I haven't really been focused on the fact that chiefs got cars, security forces, had their salaries increased. It has been done, it was done previously. And for your own information, let me correct something. The institution of traditional leaders has been used since colonial times. It's not that they have been used now after independence. They were used
But
since
but
colonial
but
times.
sorry,
No
but
wonder
it's
they
not.
were used to declare the
Sorry,
unilateral declaration of independence.
ex- excuse me, Tepo, once again. Sorry, I would. The reason why I'm just interjecting is not because I'm not respecting you. It's because I might not have enough time or forget about what I would want to say.
It's
I just
okay, it's an engagement. Yes, continue.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think I would want to a bit differ with you on the issue of precedence. To say this issue, the use of chiefs as an instrument for the electoral outcome has been used even before independence. And I'm not too sure if you are actually referencing to say so it shouldn't be an anomaly to what is right happening now, because right now we have got a constitution that provides that actually provides that these chiefs are supposed to be apolitical. And this is not only the provision within the constitution that is being violated by the regime. So much of it, even the electoral act, I always say about that. So once we start to say this thing, like what we were talking about last week when we were saying the issue of the artists that we have being abused by the regime, it is exactly what Ian Smith was doing during the colonial era, and this has to actually be normalized. I'm not too sure. So we are working on the constitution that came about in 2013. We are working with the electoral act that actually provides for what has to be done by who. And when we've got all those provisions, then definitely we need to be speaking out about such errant actions from the government, and even well, in as much as you are saying we don't have to fight with the police because they are only recipients of these increments, but really the regime itself is working against the will of the people and also the constitution. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I was driving to a point to say traditional leaders have been used since colonial times. When there was a unilateral declaration of independence, traditional leaders were roped in or were lured to support that those who were engineering the law, sorry, the struggle for independence were not moved by that. They knew what they wanted, and they were determined, and they were focused on getting what they wanted. They didn't want anything less than that which they were targeting. So even after this declaration, which was false, which was a fallacy, there was a cosmetic window dressing to it through the use of traditional leaders. It never worked. So why should it work now? So what we are seeing is history repeating itself in a bad way. But let's also see history repeating itself in a good way, where despite all the shenanigans, where despite all the efforts that are put in place, people know what they want and they continue to forge ahead. Because if you start now trying to say the constitution says this, that this is happening, who is going to correct that? When those who are mandated to do the right thing do not want to do the right thing. So it's as good as we are at factory reset. We are going to reset everything, put proper systems in place, or ensure that the systems that are in place are activated and they're going to work accordingly. When they are the right people in the right positions with the right mindset. Currently, we don't have that. We have a leadership that will at all costs advance its agenda. So why not the people also advance their agenda using whatever means possible to spread the right message, to speak to the hearts of the people, to make them realize and reason factoring what is on the ground. That's what I'm simply saying. So it's an issue of prioritizing. To say if we are in a battle, how best can we win this battle? Can we win it by trying to convince traditional leaders? How are you going to convince them when you don't have the cars? The other party has cars. So they are already convinced. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tsepo, for your submission. I remember when I was young, there was a Chief Chirau. I didn't quite understand politics, but it was the time of Smith, and people vaingolebla kuti Chief Chirau anotoshandiswa navarungu against the citizens and the black people. So as traditional leaders, I think tinofanira kutaura navo or kutuma information like Chief said, which makes them be on our side as well as the police. So kafanana ne the TikTok videos that we watch every day on WhatsApp or wherever, or the videos that our children can make, and circulate them through WhatsApp to just like encourage the military that we are together, encourage even the police that we are all citizens, a positive message instead of attacking them. Maybe it can motivate them to be on our side. I also wanted to ask Comrade Denford, who has experience, to say those police, I would rather say those people that we see putting on police uniforms, patinoona pamapolling station ichi mapurisa chaiwo chaiwo or imilitia yangopiwa uniform, because we have seen some people behaving in such a way yokuti ndinoti mupurisa chaiye akaenda kutraining, I would not expect them to really do that. Back to you, host.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, but I think one thing that people have to know is the capacity of the police in Zimbabwe, the regular police officers in Zimbabwe. is so low that they won't be able to adequately provide the personnel all over the polling stations that we have. So what they do is they bring in what they call the special constabulary. Sometimes on one reserves or something. Those people who were just trained who come into the police station and be trained by the community relations liaison officer to do mabasa. Sometimes if you go to the police station, there are those people who are not trained at most depot, but they just help the police. But sometimes we can also have some errant police officers who were really trained, but they've got this mind. You're good. Yes, I'm a policeman. I've got to do. Remember this video that came Harare Magistrates Court when Beatrice Mtetwa wanted to access the court, and these police officers are preventing her from coming in. There were no special constabulary officers there. Those guys, and that was an assistant inspector who actually had to deprive a lawyer from getting into the court, but she stood the ground. So some of these things that you see happening, yes, they do happen, especially at the polling stations. It could be as a result of those who would have been integrated only for that particular moment. They put capacity and then they bring in those people. But at the same time, when they are doing that, they will be in charge, who will be there, and they put to follow instruction. So we want to have a situation in which someone will say, "Oh, these things happened because there was a special constabulary." No, they were under the command of somebody who is trained, who is a regular police officers. We can have an excuse here, kuti panapata zona an agent arowa kana kuti it was zvakanyanya kuti purpose na police are trained. I wouldn't want to believe that can be condoned. So Dr. Maifa, I think if we are not going, like I said, Yamkoma Dobbs is gonna come in. I would want to at this particular moment say we have heard so much of people who would have wanted to speak. Unfortunately, because of what has been happening as far as the Magleach's internet, we couldn't. I would want to. I wouldn't give the names, but a number of people wanted to speak. I would also urge people who have got their consent or who would have wanted to contribute to just put that in the comment section. Then I will read that through before we end our space. That will help. But thank you very much. Koma Dobbs, you can go ahead. We are almost getting to the end of our show.
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question before to say not everybody who appear wearing police uniform during election is a police officer. And the ZANU-PF understand that people know. That is why they are not willing to remove all the COVID restriction because of the use of face mask and the other issues which makes us not really identify who is who. That is where the importance of electoral agents and the issue of defending the vote comes into, to say we don't have to depend with anybody else beside ourselves, from our own communities, because once we depend with anybody to say you will do as a favor, would then get rid very easy. We remember what our change champion is telling us, to say we are preparing to win the elections, and the good thing about it is we are winning the election for Zimbabwe, not for a party like what it is now, to say where there's one rules for one party, one benefit for one party, and the rest of the Zimbabwe suffer. There are a lot of issues. It has now become clear to say even those ones in everybody in Zimbabwe understand to say we are not going to benefit as long as ZANU-PF is in power. They understand to say the few who are going to benefit are the relatives of the elite. They even understand it even right now when they are fielding candidates, to say who is being fielded to contest on the by-election or whatever. I don't know what they call it, those selection for ZANU-PF candidates. They understand it to say
it's only their own relatives and friends who are going to contest. The rest of the people will get just used and get dumped, and they benefit themselves. They are the same people who have benefited from the farms and so forth, or the so-called land reform, or the same people who are getting mining rights. And they are the same people whom they are giving their only the high-paying jobs like judges, tax commissioners, ZEC, customs, all those official jobs which have better income. They go to the sons and daughters and relatives of the elite. So everybody understands it to say those ones who are in the military who are serving it to the lower rank, they understand it to say they are not going to benefit as long as some remains in power, as long as the use of bond note is there, they are not going to benefit. That is why everybody wants. Is saying if we have to, we can't use the two. We can't use the way how we use the multi-currency system, which is there at the moment. And it is not really secured at the moment because it is going to end in 2025. If everybody understands that in 2025, we might end up going back to the bond note to say they might end up doing the same to say let's abandon the United States dollar and go to the bond note, but it's very difficult to do that because we have experienced it. To say it won't work, it's very difficult to de-dollarize. We end up re-dollarizing again. And even now, everybody is admitted to say the economy is re-dollarized. But the laws we have, they don't support it that to continue re-dollarized because it's going to end in 2025. So I don't think it should say for somebody who is ordinary, serving in the police or the army or any other, they would understand it to say they won't benefit in the long run. Because at the moment, everybody is looking for a permanent solution. That is why even if we discuss it, will probably suggest the GNU, somebody would ask you to say, then what after GNU? Because they want a permanent solution. To say, let's have a permanent solution, forget about this politics. And then live and rebuild our country. That is the message which is coming from the voters themselves, not in the leaders, the voters themselves. That is what they are telling the nation to say. And the one other thing, Brother Sepo have gone, it's not difficult to penetrate the rural areas like what people think or what people say. Opposition is there in the rural areas. Even those people who were killed during Kukura, they were from rural areas, from Rambachina, rural areas and so forth. It's there, it has been there. But when people are silent and pretending not to be there, they are organizing and know what they are doing. We don't have to underrate to say we are doing a lot on spaces. Maybe the foot soldiers are doing a lot, but in rural areas they were there before and they knew each other. So this is the opposition, and they were not selling each other. They protected each other for so long, and that is the norm. And this year they will show you that they were already there. And even ZANU-PF knows to say opposition was there in rural areas. It's always there, and it's prepared to show them to say they do exist in that area, in rural area. So that is what I can say. The understanding my chief is up now. Back to you, host and co-host.
Thank you very much, Uncle Dobbs. Thank you very much. As we keep working towards solutions to this problem, I want to challenge King Albert there. I think I will have a $50 reward for the best video clip where an artist praises our soldiers and police and encourages them to be on the citizen side. You can inbox me later, King Albert, and we work on that. So if anybody else wants to partner with me, because we have to reach out to those soldiers, then maybe later we reach out to the traditional leaders too. Tikataridza kuti we love them. Anyway, they are part of our families. Musoja akaberekwa namai vakandibereka wenyu. So if we are together, tisingavablame kuti mapuirwe imari, like Tsepo said. Let's not blame them because it's not their fault. Mambo Sose said the same thing. Let's become one with them. And King Albert, and Estella, let's talk about this later on behind the scenes. But thank you very much, Sabuk Dobbs. I think I will give this time to Mambo Sose to give his closing remarks before we go on to our host. Thank you, Mambo.
Thank you, Dr. Amai. I continue to be thankful of the work that you are doing, because that's what we keep repeating here, that let's give people information, because ours is a war of information, and it's a battle or a war that we must win. And of course, it's a war that we are winning, but we will not be complacent. Let's keep doing the good work that we are doing. Let's keep talking to people, educating the people, giving them information. A citizen who has information is an empowered citizen, and you use that information to vote wisely. We are all here because we have been given information, we have received information. A citizen who has been given information is a citizen who take part, who participate in everything that is going on, because they know and they understand the essence and the importance of them doing that. People participate in fundraisers because they value the importance. They know that this is going to help Zimbabwe. A person who doesn't have enough information, you will see that they will come to a fundraiser and they will not participate and they will not donate anything, because maybe they've not been made to appreciate the importance of them supporting those fundraisers. So let's continue to do that. There was a tweet that was put up a couple of months ago by Chief Ndiweni, and he was advising us on what we should do, in as far as handling chiefs and traditional and other traditional leaders, masabhuku nechi masabhuku nemachief anogara muvanhu. Vanhu vedu, munhu wese ari panapa ana chief, ana sabhuku. Taura nasabhuku wako, taura nachief wako, vazvinzwisise, vazvione kuti zvese zvavari kuitirwa nezanu PF kungoitirwa kwokuti vakwanise kutyisidzira vanhu, varove vanhu, vakanganise vanhu mafungiro. And then after that, it ends there. ZANU-PF dumps you immediately after the election, and then they come back again, after 4 years, after 5 years. We need to educate our chiefs. And I speak to the traditional leaders in my area, and I'm telling you, they understand what is going on. So it comes back to what we have been talking about, the strategy by the champion in chief, the strategy by our Triple C leadership, Burumango approach. Let's tell them, what if you get trinkets from ZANU-PF, you get a car from ZANU-PF, take it by all means. It's your money, it's taxpayers' money, but know what to do. We want chiefs, we want masabuku that will go and whisper in the ears of the people kuti ndiri kuita zvandiri kuita izvi, asi kana wapinda umu enda unovhotera waunovhotera. They can get to that level if we engage them, if we talk to them. I think I'll try to find that tweet by Chief Ndweni. It was detailed. It was talking about the approach, what you do, what you should do, as a member of the village, as a person who is in that village. Talk to your sabuk, talk to Sadunu, talk to the chief himself, and give them information. And of course, now during this voter registration, let's empower our people, starting with our family members, and tell them that it is important for them to go and register to vote. And now it's cheaper, it's easier, because the registration centers are now closer. They don't even need to get in the bus. But if they need to get in the bus or combi, you are there. Give them the $5, give them the $2. On one of my programs yesterday on Facebook, we had one woman, one lady from North America, who was saying she's actually paying the people in her family to go and register to vote. But not only that, if they bring 5 more people or 10 more people that they would have said they've encouraged to go and register to vote, showing the slips to her, she'll pay them $20. So that's something that we can emulate. It's something that you can do at family level, at village level, musha menyu, mudunhu menyu, so that people get registered to vote. I'm telling you, it works. Dr. Amai here will tell you as someone I teach, I'm a teacher. You start from the unknown, going to the you start from the known, going to the unknown. Sakatanga neve muri yako, woenda kumberi uko, it will become so much easier. And imagine, the possibilities if everyone here, will be talking to their relatives, will be talking to anababa mkuru wavo, anasekuru vavo, vese vova registered. We are about 4 or 5 million of us in the diaspora. If all of us could just take this as a responsibility, as a mandate, that you need to talk to your relatives, you need to encourage your relatives to go and vote. It will make a lot of difference. It will make the work of Triple C much easier. We are investing a lot of money. We are putting a lot of money in voter registration, and it's not sustainable. You need money to get people to the voting centers. We've been using money at least before the voter registration blitz. So now let's take advantage of this. It has been extended. We have 5 more days. 5 more days of encouraging people to register to vote. Let's all do that. Let's all participate. Let's make sure that the people are registered. We are saying this is the last opportunity for us to register people, and a lot of people, are confused by that. What it means is, yes, registration continues. Registration never stops. But after Mnangagwa proclaims an election date, and the election date is now there, it means everyone else who is registering after the proclamation will not be able to vote in the 2023 election. So it's important that we use these last weeks, because we are expecting him to do that immediately after this voter registration, and after all these noises by Monzora, Komichi, and many others. There is also another court case that should be going in next week by someone we are told that is coming from Mnangagwa's camp. So immediately after the noise by the noise makers about these court cases, the date is going to be proclaimed. Don't listen to what Monzora and other people are doing. It's just something that is going to distract you from what we are supposed to be doing, registering people. But the elections are coming. The elections are going to be done. But after the dates have been proclaimed, the people that will be registering will not be able to vote. So we'll stop focusing on registration really after the proclamation. We'll now be focusing on making sure people have information, the right information that they need for them to go and make the right choices when they get in the booth, including those that have been ferried by ZANU-PF. Make no mistake, ZANU-PF has been getting people to the registration centers, and they have the money. So your duty, my duty, our duty as citizens will now be to convince those people that have been ferried, that have been carried by ZANU-PF to go and register. And we begin to give them information, pertinent information, telling them that they cannot be bought by being, carried in a bus to go and register. They cannot vote ZANU-PF simply because they were, ferried by a bus to go and register. That's not it. Let's educate them that their vote is important, it's critical, it's their lives. It represents their lives in the next 5 years. It represents even the lives of generations to come. It's their voice. It's what is going to determine their livelihoods in the next 5 years. So havangatengwe nekunzi vatakurwa nebhazi. Saka it's our duty kuvaudza kuti ndio Burumango approach yacho iyoyo, ndio Burumango strategy yacho iyoyo. Wakwidzwa bhazi hongu, asi hazvirevi kuti unofanira kuvhotera ZANU-PF. Saka ngatichitotanga kutaura nevanhu vedu vakakwidzwa nebhazi neZANU-PF, because right now They are believing that because they were given a right by ZANU-PF, they have to vote for them. They have an obligation to vote for ZANU-PF. That's not true. And it's our duty here to, remove that mentality, because that is what ZANU-PF is saying they should do. But our duty is to manage that information, remove that propaganda from our people, and they know that ZANU-PF, it's okay to carry them to the polling station, to the registration centers, but they cannot tell them that they should vote for ZANU-PF. These people, our people, must vote for a political party, a leader who is going to change their lives for good, not for a day or two. Saga, let's get talking, let's get giving people information so that they vote well after the registration, please. Thank you.
Maita yenyu Mambo Soswe nenguva yamava muchiti udza so important a message that everybody has got to do. We are not going to be restricted by our geographical locations. Whether somebody is on the floor, on the ground, whether somebody is in South Africa, whether somebody is in the United Kingdom, anywhere across the world, it is our responsibility to make sure that Zimbabwe come 2023 August, it is going to be a changed country, and it can only be changed by the citizens. It is our responsibility. What we are doing now, what Emily is doing, Kumusha, what anyone is doing in Switzerland, everywhere, it will actually translate to the victory that we so wish. But I just wanted to quickly say that when we are doing all this, we realize that there are some people that, or there are some constituencies, I wouldn't want to say people, constituencies that would want to make diversions of what we want to do. Just along this week, if someone can make a reflection of what happened on social media and on the ground, that distracted them from doing what is supposed or what was supposed to be done. Because remember, this week, we were supposed to focus our minds, all of us focus our minds on the bliss that is taking place. But I promise you, on social media, on the ground, everywhere, people actually worked on different things. Just right now, people are doing something that is different from. And when I'm saying this, I'm not only saying that you don't need to do other things. There are a lot of other things that you can do, but there are things that are diverting our objectives to really change the status quo. So let us, as citizens, as Zimbabweans, focus ourselves on the goal that we have, that we need to achieve. We need to focus on the ball that is at hand. Just focus on the ball, and things will come right. And I also would want to come to the issue that Tsepo was saying. I later on realized that it is very true. Sometimes confrontation does not yield the result. We might want to be confrontational to the police. We might want to be confrontational to the army, even to the chiefs. But they have got all the resources. There's nothing that we can do. So engagement, like Tsepo was saying, I would want to believe it is something that is that can bring us as Zimbabweans together and make sure that we can get their hearts. And like Chief Soswe was saying, that all those people who are being ferried by the buses, by these ZANU-PF people, really, some of them, they still have the mindset of saying, yeah, we need to reward the ZANU-PF that has ferried us and that has given us the food, the main seed, and so on and so on. But we can't just leave it like that. It is our responsibilities as citizens to say, this is the time that we need to engage our people. And you rightly said, Mambo Soswe, to say, yes, in as much as the Twitter space we are here, we see Titus, everybody. They are ours. We know we cannot convert them anymore. They are already in our pockets. So let us put our energy more into those people that are still on the other side and speak to them. Then they'll come. We still have time to engage them. But before I give Dr. Amaifa to close the show, let me quickly write, like I said, that those people who could not come to speak up here, let me can you just put in the comment section. I'm going to be going through what has been written on the comment section. Some of it goes by Mkoma Titus he says some will fall for it, but majority of the chiefs are smart enough to smell the coffee, which actually goes back to the issue ya Tsepo yekuti sometimes they are just doing it because they havana option. Vanokwanisa kuvara vanodi vanenge vachingotyawo kuti kana tikazoonekwa kuti zvatiri kuita izvi ndezvipi tinokwanisa kuva tinobudiswa mabasa edu. And there are a number of chiefs that actually lost their jobs, lost their pecks. Why? Because they were seen to be going on the side of opposition. So sometimes we need to give them room. How many 4x4s have been issued to these chiefs? How much does one of these cost? Where is this money coming from? The time of the handover of the motor vehicles of chiefs is obviously meant to compromise them and make them willing truth for ZANU-PF regime. This is very true. The timing of it is very, very, very important. And some people, a number of people, remember what they do is when they are handing over these things, they actually make it that people come together like a rally and say, see what is happening here. We are giving these people, and then people will simply say the government is responsible. But in the meantime, they are just lowering them, buying them. And then Ubuntu too goes on to say a significant portion of the newer police army personnel are recruited through the Border Gezi program. I have a relative from ZANU-PF who was advising young people to join Border Gezi in order to make it to the police or army. And I just wanted to also add on what Ubuntu said here, to say it is not only the police and the army that have been recruited through the Border Gezi. I remember during the time around 2008 or something, when people were being encouraged to go to the Border Gezi training center, that being told that it is a ticket to get into the civil service. And there are a number of people, not only the army or the police, in the nursing, in teaching, different sectors of the civil service, a number of people actually got it there. So it's very true, Ubuntu, what you say. And then we go to King Albert, our champion who is streaming our show. He says this program is the program that we are running is called Reshaping Zimbabwe. We are broadcasting live this Twitter space on our YouTube channel, a link, and he provides the YouTube channel that we have. And please, listeners and speakers, he says we shouldn't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I would want to add on this. He says we actually did this in order for us to broaden the viewership, the listenership, so that everybody will get the message. Like I said when we started our show, that it is important that we know that Twitter space is somehow restrictive. A very few populace of our people are on Twitter space, but there are a sizable number of people who are on Facebook, who can access YouTube. So that we deliberately did that. So for those people who can, please just get into that and subscribe if you can. And then this one, it's a personal one to find. I'm not going to read something to do with finance here. What we should please forgive. No, I'm not going to be reading anything to do with finance. But thank you very much to everybody who has just joined the space. That is all I wanted to say. Let's focus. Let me give this opportunity to Dr. Maifa to close our space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, host, and thank you everyone on this platform, those who gave submissions and those who were part of the audience. We appreciate you all, and let's keep working towards making Zimbabwe a better place for everyone. Like Mkoma Denford mentioned, there's so many distractions, especially on Twitter. You know, the glitches, the technology, it's a distraction on its own. And then people, staging conflict there, some stage managed conflicts and some real conflicts. Let's not focus on those conflicts that are, about individuals. Let's deliberate on issues that have to do with Zimbabwe. Kana space iri kutaura Denford, why waste my time going there? Let's focus on rebuilding Zimbabwe. And then Eastern time 2:30. It's about in 2 hours and 20 minutes. We have a prayer going on. Praying, it's written, praying for Zimbabwe. Follow Mazmai or follow Mai Kuku. Let's gather there and pray for Zimbabwe. Here we are giving each other technical knowledge and information, but for it to succeed, we have to intercede on behalf of the country. We have to pray. So let's meet there in 2 hours, 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Have a blessed week, everyone. And let's encourage people to make a 2-minute video clip praising the Zimbabwe military and police. And then we'll touch Mani Samanch. Thank you very much, everyone. And have a great week ahead.